Welcome back to Right Hand Drive, guys. I'm Bobby. This is Aaron.
Yo.
And this is episode 46 of the Right Hand Drive Guys podcast.
Absolutely.
Wow, definitely becoming an older man here. We're really growing up, and so we're pumped. Are you pumped?
Oh yeah,
I'm pumped for sure. And so,
what are you pumped about?
We actually just upgraded to a Roadcaster Duo.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. So we stepped up our production. We got some cool little buttons that we can use, and really just the obvious better audio quality than what we had been using.
Right. That's cool, man.
So I'm excited about that, but I'm also excited about the fact that 2024 is now just around the corner.
Dude, right? It's literally just a few weeks away.
Yeah, we're like at the apex of the corner, and we are about to hit 2024.
It's insane.
Yes.
This year flew by.
Yes, throttle out. Let's get it. 2024. So
exactly.
We're not just kind of excited about what's going to happen for us in 2024.
Right.
That's sweet, but we're definitely excited about what's going to happen within the car community, the import car community, specifically importing cars.
Yeah, because every year, as this law is a 25-year law, every year new cars are eligible to come into the States. Exactly.
So I would say that 2024 is a year that so many guys have been waiting for. Just X's every day on the calendar, like
seriously, counting them down.
Yes, literally. And so, as you said, 2024 is 25 years from what year?
It is 1999.
So 99. So, wow, that made me feel old.
Yeah.
Dang. So,
oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's 25 years from 1999.
Yeah.
And I mean, quite a few legendary cars were birthed in 99.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
at least certain models, right?
Correct.
Yeah, and of course, we all know what the most exciting, just period general consensus, the most exciting car is.
Yeah, the 34.
The 34 GTR.
The 34 GTR, right, because
specifically.
It was a big thing for that thing to become the GTT become legal last year, or this year, I guess. Still,
this
2023.
Year, yeah. Hey, slow it down, brother.
I know. Pump the brakes.
Yeah, but that was a big thing, and
it wasn't even the full year. It was what, probably. I think the first one started to come over mid-year, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it hasn't been that long, even still, and
right.
I mean, I would say we probably already hit the peak on the GTTs, but we're not.
The market's all over the place from what I've seen.
Yeah,
and it's kind of crazy.
I don't think that like those prices and everything of the GTT is over, but I don't think it's going up any further.
Yeah.
Personally.
Right.
But I don't know. Only the market will tell.
Right, because I mean, all the ones that over here that are legal, they are, whatever, the first 6 months, I guess, of production.
Right.
So there's not that many, so people can kind of feel like they can charge a premium. So yeah, I mean, once the gates start opening and they start trickling in, that's obviously going to make the market fluctuate. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of wild to see $40,000 GTTs, pretty much stock.
Like, I mean, and up.
Not even like. Well, your model was, fairly low mileage, very clean. But some of these that I'm seeing for sale, it's like, what are you doing asking that much?
What
like,
is going on?
What is happening? I mean, but that's the market.
Supply and demand. Yeah. It's definitely, this is a great example of that. But back to the GTR. So do you think that the GTR's, legalization time when they all start coming over, do you think that'll be minimized because the GTTs did come over first? Do you think like it'll be less than it would have been if the GTRs had came over first?
No, I think it's still a completely different thing. Like,
yeah, I think everybody's gonna
GTR is next level, obviously. Like,
right?
It's not. I don't know. It's so many steps ahead So I don't even think the GTT market really messes with the applies to the GTR market, because like that's a very niche car. Like if you want a GTR, you want a GTR. Like if you don't want to pay that premium, you buy a GTT or whatever, a base model.
Yeah. I feel you. It is two different levels. Yeah. So the 34 GTR, January, they can start coming over, I believe. And so that'll of course be exciting. My personal 34 that I have, unfortunately, can't come over till 2025. I got the later model, but that's all right. I'm not like upset about it. I was able to afford it because it was so far out. So I can be patient. I'm sure I will get a little envious of some of the boys that got the 99s. You know what I'm saying? But that's cool. So, but we will start seeing those first generation R34 GTRs come over. So that's exciting. And so another kind of thing that I'm anxious to see with the 34s coming over is how many of them just get pushed into a garage and just, hit away, and how many of you actually end up seeing where, out and about, whether it's at the track, at the event, the show, or just on the streets, period. I just wonder how people will treat that car.
Yeah. I'm anxious to see too. I hope people bring them out.
Yeah, of course.
And if you think about it, the 34 GTRs that are here legally at the moment under the show and display and like limited, like the Inspectors and the Midnight Purple ones.
Yeah.
Like those dudes bring them out to shows.
Yeah, for sure.
And those are like the rarest models and some of the highest dollar models.
Right. Yeah. So, no, I guess that's definitely true. I mean, of course, people, because, in those cars, you get this level of attention that's just like so different. Yeah. And
especially with the 34.
Yeah. Because, I can imagine some of the boys with the GTTs that are converted over to, be kind of like GTR clones. I'm sure they get a ridiculous amount of attention right now.
Yeah.
Daily driving, those are driving them on the weekends. Right. Yeah,
I'm sure people come up to them, hey, sick GTR.
Yeah.
I saw a thread the other day that someone was bringing that up about how to politely tell people it's not a GTR.
Yeah, exactly. Well, which, hey, whatever. You got an R34, just tell them. They're still going to be stoked that it's rear-wheel drive turbo, like, whatever. Like,
people call my 32 a GTR all the time. I'm just like, hell yeah, man, thanks. Like, whatever, just keep it moving.
Right, it makes no difference. So that's cool. 34 GTR, Evo 6. Evo 6 is dropping in 2024.
Right.
And, it looks, as everybody knows, it looks similar to the last two models that came through.
Right.
So is that going to be a big splash in this market because it's kind of like a little facelift and, otherwise same car, but going to be a little more expensive?
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard. I'm not too versed on the Mitsubishis like that, but it's I don't know. It's probably those are still probably gonna pull a premium, right? Because they are the last like final editions of that body style, and
true.
Especially like the Tommy Mackinnons. Do they have those in the 6 as well?
I believe so. Yeah, I definitely think so. So those ones will obviously any special editions of these vehicles that we're talking about,
right?
Definitely, they're gonna pull a premium. Period. Just because if they weren't available, of course, the GTR and the Evo 6 weren't available here, anyways.
Right.
But some of these other ones that we'll speak on were, and so any kind of upgraded models we didn't receive here still pull that higher premium.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, the Evo 6, the all-wheel drive 4G63.
Yeah.
Little ripper.
Ripper, dude. I don't know. And from what I've seen on those, the prices, it's not too bad for what you get.
Right.
Like they're
those
are
not
very
crazy,
reasonably priced compared to especially GTRs, obviously.
Right.
If you look at the two on paper and then look at the price, it's like,
dang.
Okay, yeah, maybe I might get the Evo.
I could probably
put some
get
money
4
into
of
it.
those.
Yeah, that as well. It's like, holy cow, you probably get 5.
Yeah, literally.
In some cases, like.
So yeah, I mean that is a thing, right? That's a huge comparison is that Evo 6 versus the R34 GTR, same years, of course, different motors, still turbo, both all-wheel drive, but yeah, that is pretty wild, I mean, but again, there's a lot more behind that than just performance.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. So next car I think it's going to become legal is the Nissan Silvia S15.
The S15.
The final edition of the cool S chassis.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's wild to really think about that. This is the beginning of the end for both of those models, the Silvia and the Skyline.
Yeah.
In their iconic forms, of course, but like that is crazy to think like this is it.
Yeah, I know, man, and it's kind of short lived because like Silvias, they were 88 to 02.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, we've already had 35 GTRs for that long.
Right.
Like for that amount of time span, you know what I mean? So it's like
things have changed.
Yeah, it has. And we had 3 generations of a totally cool car in that short period of time. But like I said, it ends with the S15 and they are legal in 99 and all the way until 2002.
All the way until 2002.
Or, I'm sorry. They're legal this year or next year until
2024 to 27. Yeah. So
they'll start trickling in.
And one thing I was talking to another guy actually about the other day was how the S15s right now are super, comparing them to the GTR, right? They're super undervalued right now. Like you can get S-Spec S15s for a pretty low price if you're willing to, do the conversion, but you can still get Spec Rs for a pretty good price, just like what we're talking about with the Evo.
Yeah. I mean, I think I've seen on Top Rank's website that they're Japan stock that, roughly $30K or so. You
for
can get
a decent Spec R.
Yeah, for a pretty well set up Spec R.
So, I mean, you're getting, at least right now, you're getting 4 S15s to every R34 GTR-ish.
Right.
I mean.
It is kind of crazy.
All depending, but.
And that's like the top model of the S15s, right? It's a Spec R.
Yeah.
Or, they didn't really have anything beyond that. I mean, they did have like Autech versions, but they were NA.
Yeah, they weren't. They went the opposite way of what you would have thought. And so the Spec R is the one that comes with the DET. Right,
correct. And the 6-speed transmission as well.
Yeah, so I mean, that's dope. I think the S15's the ones that haven't been, slid around over there, which I'm sure is hard to find.
Right. Oh, yeah, 100%.
I don't know the production numbers on the S15, but I'd assume Spec R, it's not like an insane amount. You know, I'm sure it's not just a few, but, I mean, in that sense, I am a little surprised that these aren't going for 40, 45,
Yeah.
I mean, they're becoming legal.
Right, 100%. And yeah, I mean, they are kind of plagued with the same issues as like the 34s as well, with like the strut towers rusting out and like, the firewall rusting out as well, just because of, I guess Nissan's practices back then and how they apply their seam sealer and whatever it might have been. They're susceptible to rust. Moisture gets trapped in between these pieces of metal and ends up rusting it from the inside out. And that's where a lot of S15s got taken, I'd imagine, is that and, drifting for sure. A bunch of them got used up. I mean, I just remember at Ebisu, like, there was an S15 there, and the entire back had been smashed in, and so many times that it just got cut off, and like the front end was all janky, but like you could tell it was an S15 by the windows and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but it was just crazy, like how many hundreds and hundreds of those just got smashed up like that, probably.
Right. Yeah, and just scrapped or whatever the case may be. I mean, I'll be interested to see how. I mean, I personally would love to have a white one. Out of all of the S chassis models, the S15 is my favorite. Yeah. I mean, the S14 like behind us is sweet. I would get the Kooky if I was ever going to get an S14, but S15 is just, I don't know. It was always just that iconic Sylvia for me.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, I'll be excited to see him come over, see how the prices go. Maybe scoop one up from Trevor and get it over here.
Yeah, they're sick cars.
Yeah, no, they definitely are.
Dude, nothing beats an S15 with a Vertex kit.
Yeah, with some dope wheels, for sure. So those three were pretty much the Japan exclusive models. We might have one more, but I think that was pretty much it.
Yeah, I think so. Like everything else we got some sort of version of in the States, as far as, cool cars go.
So the S2000. The S2000.
The AP1.
I think this is cool depending on what I personally don't need an S2000, so I don't really look into them over there.
Yeah.
Depending on the prices over there, that this could be great for some guys that have wanted to get into an S2000. But I think this is kind of the same type of thing as with the Supra.
Right.
It's a weird thing, man. Like with the Supras, the left-hand drive models are the right-hand drive models are like the redheaded stepchild, and the left-hand drive models are like the king. It's in that market. Right. It's like so.
It's strange. I don't know. Weird. It's just because they got so many more.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of like one of those like rarity type things, but yeah, like with the S2000, like.
Yeah, I don't know how that goes. I don't know if Honda guys look at it like that. Like, are the USDM ones going to be more expensive or less? Because there wasn't enough differences for the JDM model to be like superior.
Yeah. I mean, dude, I remember 10 years ago or so, you could get a pretty rough running and driving, decent, rough in shape, decent as in reliability, S2000. You could find one for $6K.
Yeah.
7K. And, still put wheels on it, still fix the little issues, and it's still a nice car.
Yeah.
Like, that's nothing. You can't find one of those for that price at all now. They're all 15K and above, usually. Like, I haven't seen one for under 10K in years.
Yeah, no, they've definitely just scooted right up there.
It's crazy. So, from what I've seen, like people like Stacked, they'll post S2000s every now and again. The prices are pretty much the same as they are in America, with a much nicer example.
Right. Oh, okay. I see.
Like, it's lower mileage. It's not faded. It's not beat up in any sense. It's like a nice car for the same price. And it just, I don't know. It's like you said, it's kind of like with the Supras, how the left-hand drive models always sell for higher than the right-hand drive.
Right. So, I mean, yeah, I'll be, pretty interested to see like how that goes too, right? And once they start really getting over here and like, quite a few guys have them and then they start floating around the market, where does that end up? Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I would take a right-hand drive S2000.
Yeah. Yeah, S2000s are sick. Like, last one I got to ride in was Albo's on the Toge.
Oh, yeah.
So, obviously, that's a cool example.
Yeah.
But
for sure.
It ripped, dude. Made all kinds of cool noises and...
Yeah, and it handled awesome. Like, it was... I mean, he does it all the time, obviously, but, like, it was
he
like a struggle to keep up with him. Yeah, it was like, okay... were those his taillights? What? Yeah. So, the S2000. No, love that car. Can't wait to see him out and about. And we have a few more of just what's going to become legal. Maybe not like a lot of guys are gonna run out to grab these cars, but they're worth mentioning.
The Toyota Celica.
The Toyota Celica. What's that body style that is that period? Like, no, they had old Celicas. So this must be what?
This is the one we got in the States. Whatever, 99, 2000. It's all your friends
headlights.
Riced them out.
Yeah.
Like they had, I don't know, I feel like they had ricer taillights from the factory. Like,
yeah.
You know?
Yeah. They were trying to get younger people's attention at that time.
Another Toyota that's becoming legal is the MRS, the W30.
W30 MRS.
We got these in the States, and I feel like pretty underrated car if you're into grip driving.
Yeah.
Like, you never see these around anymore, I feel like.
No, not really.
You never really saw them around when they were new.
No, I agree.
When we were in Japan in the spring, we saw these everywhere.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing one at some rest stop, and it had like this sick GT wing on it. It's full kit, lowered, had some nice wheels, and it was like, whoa, this is cool.
Yeah, they do good.
And they do have the JGTC body kits where it has like the hood scoop on the back, kind of like similar to the NSX.
Mm-hmm.
Very similar to that. And they have K-swap kits for them.
Yes. Dude.
Pretty underrated car if you're looking into modifying and going grip driving.
Yeah,
if you're into the mid-engine thing too, especially.
Convertible. Yeah. I mean, it's cool. I mean, and again, that autocross grip driving, small, tight, go-kart, it's definitely a sweet car. And I first kind of thought that car was cool back in the first and second Fast and the Furious movies. They had one of those in the street race scene in the first one, and then in the scramble in the second one. And I was like, at that point in life, so to speak, I was like, dang, what is that? Right. And then I see it in one of the magazines in the body kit section, and then whatever. But yeah, I always thought that they were pretty cool once you modify them. Stock, they're
they're a little weak. If you leave it stock, the bumpers are very, it just doesn't do much for itself. But the JGTC one, the ones that Autobox sponsored, I think that was in Gran Turismo, a few of the Gran Turismo games. That looks sick,
right?
And I don't know, it's kind of like you could kind of look at it as a budget NSX.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
a little bit smaller, but it's mid-engine. It kind of looks similar-ish, but
you
get the idea.
Yeah, mini, So 2024, we got some of these major players. We got a few, lower end cars, so to speak, that are coming through. But Canada does 15 years, right?
Yeah. Canada does 15 years.
So this is why, because I know that some people in their heads have been like, well, what? Why are these cars already over in Canada? How come,
right.
You see Skylines for sale in Canada, Silvias for sale in Canada.
For the longest, dude.
Oh,
Sylvia, even back in the day, it was like, what? How?
Literally.
How?
And so then you come to learn, Canada has a 15-year law instead of 25.
Right.
So they got 10 years on us.
Yeah.
Hey?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they get to rust around up there before they come south.
Yeah, for sure. And so that's pretty interesting. And so there's a car or two that becomes legal in 2024 over in Canada.
Yeah, kind of mentioned this earlier. The R35 Skyline GTR becomes 15-year legal for Canada.
Yeah, Canada. So that means you can import an 09. Yeah. Or, yes, a 09 R35. It confused me there for a second because I'm like, wait.
I know. It's like,
R35, whoa. And so you can have a JDM R35 over there. Not sure what the differences are beyond the steering wheel. I don't know the pricing.
I don't know much beyond that either. And I kind of wonder what that's going to do to pricing for the market in the States for those, because I don't know. I mean,
do people come from Canada to buy GTRs over here?
I could see that if they. I mean, where else are they going to go and get them? Like, I guess in Canada, but
yeah, you just go across the border and you have a bigger selection,
right? And I feel like those have already kind of hit rock bottom on their prices for those. They're not getting any cheaper,
right?
You know what I mean? The 09s have kind of bottomed out,
yeah.
From what I feel, unless you find that one steal of a deal.
The steal of a deal on the 35.
Those are far and few between, but they're out there.
Yeah,
but
they are.
Usually you're spending $50,000 regardless for a 35. But
quick story on that, right? There was this guy where we're from, and he won a 35.
Yeah.
From I can't remember the YouTuber.
It was it's just a 6 or something.
Just a 6, that's right.
It's just a 6. He had a raffle and it was one of his personal cars.
Yeah, and so he wins this 35, and you know, when people join these raffles, they don't expect to win. They don't have the money to necessarily put into the GTR once you put some miles on it. So, anyways, long story short, this guy had made this car a mess from when this YouTuber had it for the 6 months that this guy had made it a mess. He listed it. I immediately hit him up. Got the 35 for 35.
Yep.
Insane
deal.
That was one of those steal of a deals. It was a 2012 or something with, I don't know,
Black edition.
Yeah, with 100,000 miles maybe.
Had a midnight purple wrap.
Yeah. And so, anyways, we fixed it, ripped it.
Yeah.
And it moved on. Yeah. But that's one of those things, right? Yeah. Like, you can find the steal of a deal, but I don't know what type of steal of a deals they have in Canada. So, maybe importing one of those or some of those would be a good little move for somebody up there, which I'm sure they're already.
Yeah, I just imagine that. I mean, we got so many of those in the States. Like, I remember at one point Nissan had like a program where they would lease them to their employees for mad cheap, like ridiculously cheap. So you would see these cars like out everywhere around Nashville, like everywhere.
Yeah, I bet. Just all the employees were like, hell yeah.
Yeah,
and then those
bunch
had
of people
to move on. Like the cars had to turn over. Yeah, that is pretty crazy of some people that deals on demo cars.
Hundreds of them. Like probably thousands, really. Like, dude, there was a lot of them. Everyone that worked for Nissan, either they had one or their homie did.
Right. Yeah, that's
all
crazy.
the time back in the day. It was kind of crazy to think about. So there's a ton of those already over here.
Yeah.
I wonder how many they kept in Japan.
Right. It'd be cool to know those numbers. We could look them up. So, I mean, 2024, it's going to be dope. Besides, you know, what's happening in the car community, the cars that are coming in, gonna be some real good ones. Yeah. You'll start seeing them all over Instagram soon enough, I'm sure.
Yeah. It is the beginning of the end.
It is
for some of these.
Yes. This is, for the most part, like right now is the peak.
Yeah.
It's so dope to be involved in it.
Yeah.
You know, have been involved in it in a long time, but like to really still be here right now during that kind of golden hour, so to speak, of this all happening.
Yeah.
2024 is like that year for the most part. So I'm looking forward to it. Got to enjoy it because you can't stop it. You know, you can't slow it down, so you have to enjoy it while it's happening. And so episode 46, is it 2024 yet?
Is it?
We're excited. We hope you are too. If you're looking for a Christmas gift for your buddy, for your girl to wear to bed, whatever, hit us up, rhdguis.com. Use code RHDXMAS for 20% off. And for now, I'm Bobby. This is Aaron.
See ya.
Peace.